ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಕೇಳಿಸಿದ್ಯಾ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಇದೇನಪ್ಪ? ಭೈರವಿ, ಚೈತ್ರ, ಛಾಯಾ, ಪೂಜಾ ಕೇಳಿಸಿದಿಲ್ಲ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. We'll continue with our discussion. Okay, ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? What are topics next from last class? National green tribunal work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ? Okay, what are this?
ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯುನಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ
10 ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ರಿಸೈಡ್.
Okay, then
ಅದು ಸುಮೋಟೋ ಕೇಸ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕಲಿ ಅದು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ.
How many acts it will take? How many acts? What are the acts? NGT ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ?
ಸರ್ ಮೂರೇನಾ?
7 acts. What are those acts? Will it handle FRAs, Forest Rights Act?
Yes.
Sure. It will not take up FRA cases. That's observe ಮಾಡಿ. So NGT is the National Green Tribunal. National Green Tribunal. Okay, it takes around 7 acts. Anybody know the acts? ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? Okay, so work on this one. Okay, what are the acts NGT enforces? Okay, it doesn't enforce FRA, Forest Rights Act. It doesn't come under the NGT. Okay, so just verify like verified once. Okay, then what else you know about NGT?
ಸರ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸುಮೋಟೋ ಕೇಸ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ.
It can take up sumoto cases. Okay, what is the maximum duration? Have to dispose the cases within 6 months. They have to dispose the cases. From filing in within 6 months they have to dispose the case. And what else? Will it consider? Okay, India is the first country to have tribunal. Third country. Good. Then does it use IPC or use model? Does it use Evidences Act? Will it use Evidences Act or CRPC or IPC?
ಸರ್ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್.
It works on the principle of natural justice. Okay, it doesn't rely on the Evidence Act of the other. Okay, it may consider, but it works on the principle of this one, principle of natural justice. So these are the questions they'll ask. Okay, na? What are the members of NGT? Within how many months they have to dispose the cases, and how many acts it will enforces? What are the acts also they will ask questions. They'll give a list of options. Options go to without the following NGT in 4 of the questions. Okay, so work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ anything else we discussed? engineer work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ? Okay, how many days work?
15 days. 100 days. 15 days ಒಳಗಡೆ
within 15 days they have to. Okay, then what else? Within 5 kilometers radius. Okay, ರಾಶಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು?
60 to 40
ratio.
Sir, change ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಸರ್ ವೇಜಸ್ 100% ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ.
that is a point. ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ವೇಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೇಜಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು MG ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಕೊಡೋದು MG ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಇತ್ತು. Okay, does it apply for urban areas also? Urban youth. Does it apply for urban youth? Okay, I agree. Ruling ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇಕು, but does it apply for urban youth? Apply ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? No. Sure? Confirm? ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Urban areas. Will it apply for urban areas? Or will it apply rural educated ones?
ಸರ್ ಅನ್ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಲೇಬರ್.
What about skilled labor? What about rural skilled labors? See, sometimes, okay, it may bore you also. In question ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ, but this is how they ask the questions. The question paper observe ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗ, that is how they are going for depth question ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So focus on these kind of things. Rural skilled ಬರ್ತಾರ? Will they include rural skilled laborers also? Skilled ಬರಲ್ಲ, only unskilled. Okay, and what is the ratio? What is the ratio of salaries? Materials ratio is 75:25. Okay, for skilled, for wages 100% by the central government. Then what else? What about reservation? CPI, which index they use? CPI? RL or AL? RL. Then don't worry. It will come up. Okay, don't worry. Okay, don't be scared. These are only the static portions. These are the facts. There's no concepts in that one. So like to be scared by. Don't worry. Anything else?
ಏನಾದ್ರು ಫ್ಲಡ್ ಆ ತರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರೆ 150 days ವರೆಗೂ
Okay. What about the reservation for women? Idea? 1/3 reservation for women. So okay. What is ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ we discuss ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರಬೇಕು
Difference.
cheetah and leopard work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ okay then what else
Anti-dumping duty.
Who imposes anti-dumping duty?
Ministry
of Finance. Who recommends it? Ministry of Commerce. ಯಾವ body ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ under Ministry of Commerce, which is a body which recommends anti-dumping duty? Director General of Foreign Trade Remedies. Okay, he will recommend the anti-dumping duty. Okay, and at the last, Ministry of Finance will take the final decision. Okay, anything else we discussed? That's all. Okay, yeah, that's all. So this one.
So centrally sponsored thing ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ
Center sector scheme.
ಅದೇನ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್?
So center sector scheme ಅಂತ 100% funds given by center ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Center sponsored ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ 70% to 20%, 60 to 40. ಅದ center fund ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, state supplement ಮಾಡಬೇಕು funds. That is centrally sponsored scheme.
ಸರ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು 60-40 ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ 90:10.
Okay. Duties usually 100% ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ 90:10 ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಶಲಿ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತನಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಲ್ಲ,
ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್ ಫುಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು.
ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ.
ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಗಿವ್ 100% ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ 100% given by ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೆ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಗೋ ಅಪ್ ಟು 60 to 40 ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, or for north east ಗೆ it may go up to 90:10 hours. This is the ratio usually follow. Okay, for centrally sponsored schemes. ಮತ್ತೆ anything else to discuss? European Union work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ? European Union and Brexit. Right to speech. ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? Right to speech. Who can put restrictions on right to speech? Executive or legislature? Legislature. To legislation, they can only put the restrictions on the freedom of speech. What are the restrictions under Article 19(2)? Did you work? Sovereignty, integrity. ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಫಾರಿನ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಸ್
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇದೆ. ಏನ್ರ ಇವತ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಓಕೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಔಟ್ ಕಡೆ. Defamation is also there. Okay, these are restrictions will all come in the. Okay. So again, we'll continue the discussion. Okay. So today also we'll have some important topics today. So RBI cuts rate by 50 basis points, interest burden to ease. Anyone know about this one? RBI cuts rate by 50 basis points. Economy agidre.
ರೆಪೋ ರೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
Repo rate.
50 basis points 0.5%.
Okay. Repo rate or CRR, SLR ಯಾವುದು? Basis. ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಈಗ? What may happen to money supply in the market? Sure. Pakka sir. Anything? See. I'll discuss this basic question. Okay. So what does the bank do? One thing is they take the deposits, correct? They take deposits and they lend loan. Correct? This is the basic functioning of the bank. So if I deposit 100 rupees, how much they have to lend? How much they can lend? Yes, how much they can lend? Banks. Like how much they want to lend, first of all. 100 ton. Because this is the derivative for them. If they lend loan, they'll get interest. Banks interest. Again, they'll earn the profit. That is why banks want to lend 100 rupees. But if they lend 100 rupees, will it be safe for banks? No, right? So what they have to do is they have to keep at least some percentage of deposits with themselves or with the RBI for the safekeeping. Okay, for security of the banks, they have to keep some percentage of deposits with themselves. Okay, that is meaning of what do you call as? There is something called as CRR and SLR ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. I ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, don't worry. So CR is what? Cash reserve ratio. What is SLR? Statutory liquidity ratio. I'll keep it very simple, don't worry. Statutory liquidity ratio. I repeat again. So deposit 100%, they can lend 100 rupees also, but it is not safe for the banks or for the economy. So that is why they keep certain percentage of deposits with themselves or with the RBI for the safekeeping. Okay, those are called as CRR and SLR. Okay, CRR ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ cash reserve ratio. In the word itself suggests they have to deposit at least some percent of cash with RBI. Okay, so that means they have to deposit around 4% rupees or 4 rupees from it. Within 100 rupees, they have to deposit 4 rupees with the RBI. Okay, in the cash. This is the meaning of cash reserve ratio. Are you getting this? So 100 rupees deposit, within 100 rupees, they have to deposit 4 rupees with the RBI in terms of cash. So what is the meaning of this one? Yes, sir. Statutory liquidity ratio. Okay. So within themselves, within the bank itself, they have to give some percentage of, in a cash, in the form of cash, in the form of gold, in the form of securities. They have to keep with themselves. It may come around, usually, SLR rate 18% or 18 rupees. It may come around 18 rupees usually. So this is the basic things. Banks, percent of deposits, they have to deposit in RBI. That is called as CRR, cash reserve ratio. That means around 4% rupees they have to deposit with the RBI in cash. Okay. What about this one? So they have to deposit some percent of the money in themselves, in the bank itself. Okay, in bank itself, they're depositing with themselves in the form of these things: cash, gold, or securities. Why they have to do it? Because to save themselves. When they are bank, they have to protect themselves. That is why they have to deposit in this way with their banks. Okay, this is the basics of it. Okay, so what happens if CRR comes down? Okay, earlier they used to deposit what? 4 rupees in RBI. Right now, they have to deposit only 3 rupees with the RBI. What happens to money supply?
Increases, sir.
But so money supply in the market can increase. That means that additional 1 rupee banks can lend to people. Again, this will increase the money supply in the market. So why they have to increase money supply in the market? Why? Growth. Does it lead to inflation? Inflation out. Are you getting this? So if they reduce CRR use, it may lead to increase in money supply. That means banks will have more funds to lend to the public. So it may lead to inflation also. It may lead to increasing money supply also. But why do they do it? What is the purpose of doing this one?
Growth,
banks?
sir. Growth.
Okay. So consumers. Why? So one major point is they have to increase money supply for growth. Okay, for economic growth. How? Because banks will have more funds to lend. They have more funds to lend because CRR kammi aitu. Again, banks will have more funds to lend, and they will lend to the public, or they may lend to the industries also. They may lend to the companies also. Again, they will increase the production. Again, it will increase the growth. That is why CRR has been reducing. This is a point you have to remember. So why I'm saying is because they'll ask the questions. Which of the following measures will increase the money supply? And the questions keltare. Then they'll give you the options: reducing SLR or increasing CRR, increasing repo rate. So these are the questions they'll ask. Okay, gap net kodi. Reducing CRR, it will increase what? It will increase money supply. Okay. What about SLR? If they reduce SLR, what happens to money supply? It increase or decrease?
Increases, sir.
Obviously, see, gap net kodappa SLR anta helidre they cannot lend this money. CRR 4 rupees and SLR 18 rupees, they cannot lend. It is like a cash with a banker. It is like idle money. They cannot lend 22 rupees. Okay, remaining amount they can lend, but these 22 rupees they cannot lend. So if I reduce SLR, so what I can do is it can come down to 20 rupees, correct? Including both things. Again, banks will have 80 rupees to lend. Again, they lend more. Again, it will increase the money supply in the market. Am I clear? These are simple things. Don't worry. But basic things. SLR ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, CR ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, it will increase the money supply in the market. Why we have to increase? Because in order to increase the growth. Growth ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ because banks will lend excess money to the people will spend the money, and it will lend to the industries lend ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Again, they will expand their production, it will increase the production, it will lead to growth in the economy. This is the one point. Okay, that is why RBI is focusing more on growth. Okay, that is why they are reducing the repo rate ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ reducing the CRR, reducing SLR ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, but they can do it. Okay, to increase the growth. Okay, this is a basic. Okay, what is the policy of RBI? What are the policy? Whatever they are doing, decreasing repo rate, decreasing RRR. What is the policy of RBI? The name.
Monetary.
Okay.
Monetary policy.
Monetary policy. Monetary policy. What is the policy of government? It is fiscal policy. Just remember these terms. Okay, the policy of the RBI is called as monetary policy. What they'll do is they will increase or decrease the repo rate or CRR or SLR. Why they do it? Because to control the growth. Okay, by reducing or decreasing or increasing, they can reduce the growth, or they can increase the growth, or they can induce the economic activity in the economy. So this is the point you have to remember. RBI monetary policy, they can reduce CRR or SLR to induce economic activity. Okay, they can induce the growth also. Okay, this is the one point you have to remember. RBI, and this one you got to love. CRR, they have to deposit with the RBI. Okay, usually it will be in 4% with the RBI in cash only. No other things, not in gold, only in cash. Only in cash, they have to deposit 4 rupees with the RBI banks. So other 18% or 18 rupees, they have to deposit with themselves in the form of gold, securities, or cash. Okay, anything in this form, they deposit with themselves. Okay, these are the basic points. Other one more point is there. What is the meaning of liquidity? Liquidity. Okay, which is more liquid in nature? Cash.
Cash.
About debit cards, which is more, or gold or land, which is more liquid?
Cash, sir.
Cash, then which is more liquid? Debit card. Debit card, then
Gold.
gold. After it is
Then
land.
land.
Okay, good. So liquidity and children, how quickly I can get the cash? Liquidity. Liquid. What is the liquid and children? Like how far I can get the cash, and how far I can get the cash. One is obviously cash is more liquid in nature. That means I can spend it easily. Next is your debit card. That means your money you can withdraw it. Next is gold, alva. You can easily get loans on gold. This is more liquid then. Again, last we have land. If you have a land, you can sell it. It takes time, but it is also more liquid. It is also liquid. They'll ask the questions. Which is more liquid? The questions. So liquidity and how first we can get the cash. Okay, cash is more liquid. Then we have debit card. Then we have the gold. Then we have the land. Okay, these terms. Why I'm saying is because what is the full form of SLR? Statutory liquidity ratio. That means we have to keep the ratios in the form of liquid assets. And cash is more liquid than cash is more liquid. Securities, they are more liquid. Gold are more liquid. That is why we have to keep SLR in the form of liquid assets. Liquid and so which can be converted into cash easily. Example is cash. Obviously, cash. Then gold. Then other is securities. You can sell easily. They can get the cash. That is why it is called as statutory liquidity ratio. Around 18% usually. Okay, this is a major point. CRR, SLR, monetary policy of RBI. Why they introduce or increase? Because to induce the growth in the economy. So these are the major points of the RBI. Okay. So don't worry. So this is just a revision point. Okay, stamped is the issue. Discuss. We'll come back to that one. Suspension of police commissioner. Do you think it's a valid thing? What they are doing? Suspension of police commissioner by state government. Is he actually responsible?
Not as
The
much
government
as
is blaming everyone other than itself. Observe ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ? I can't say in public, but we'll discuss ಮಾಡೋಣ ಮತ್ತೆ. Government is doing everything other than blaming itself. Okay, they're blaming people, they're blaming others. Okay, but it's not blaming itself. Okay. We'll discuss that one. Okay, if we get time, we'll discuss. There's an essay article for ethics case study ಆಗುತ್ತದು. Okay, but what is the importance of water for us? Water. Also, ತುಂಬಾ importance ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. But still, there is one article, very, very important article. Okay. So, again, this is a good initiative. Okay. Good initiative, giving exam bananas in schools. One of the very, very important article. Water management in India needs a new course. Very, very important article. Okay. We talk about the water management system in India. So, what is the importance of water for us? We are spending billions rupees, okay, to search of water on the moon, on other planets. Right? We are sending rockets and we are sending satellites and everything to search for water. What is the importance of water for us or for humanity? Huh? But make it okay. How do we link to other concepts about the water importance? Civilization, okay, civilization survives around the water sources. Example, Indus Valley agli, or Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization, or Chinese civilization. Every civilization survives along the river bodies. Correct alva? So Indus Valley civilization kuda Harappan Indus Valley pehile survive agiradu. ಮತ್ತೆ anything else? Good point. Civilization. Then other points. Agriculture, because agriculture mainly relies on water. It's a mainly purely water system only. So agriculture in the again it leads to food production. Again nutrition security, food security, and everything is linked to agriculture itself. Anything else, matte? Huh? Livelihood. Okay. Industries. Okay. They need industries. They need water. What else? Huh? Daily domestic use. Obviously domestic use. Then minerals. Okay. What else?
biodiversity.
Okay. What is the importance of water for women? Women specifically. See, one point gap. Whatever you are writing, make sure you include the women perspective. It is not like feminist or radical feminism, but this is what the UPSC experts also. Okay, na include women, vulnerable ಬಗ್ಗೆ, SC, ST, Dalits ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ angle ಇರಲಿ, ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, specifically for women. Okay, it's very important. So, what is the importance of water for women? Any article we discussed?
Yes, sir. ಇದು ಅವರು ಮೊದ್ಲು ತುಂಬಾ ದೂರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ನೀರ್ ತರೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದು. ಓಕೆ, ಗುಡ್. ಮತ್ತೆ hygiene importance ತಾನೆ. So menstrual hygiene goes to they need water, very, very important, especially in North Karnataka to North India part, it is very important. And what else? For women, she is the one ತಾನೆ ಮನೇಲೆಲ್ಲ, so she is the one who is responsible for getting us water in the rural areas also, no? So what? In rural, in urban areas obviously we have tap system ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, but in the rural areas women are the only ones, are the major ones who are supposed to get us water. So during that time, it will take their most of their time because they have to walk for kilometers in search of water and they have to get it back. Again, it is a very tedious process for them. So right now we have schemes. Any schemes, but water. One is Jal Jeevan Mission. Jal Jeevan Mission, where we are giving tap water connection for rural households. Tap water connections for rural households. So observe, Madi, one water can be linked to many things. Okay, na? Many concepts, okay. Agriculture agbodu, or urban perspective, like environment possibility agli. So everything is interlinked to water itself. Okay. Okay, what about polity? In which list we have water? In which list? Central list, state list, concurrent list? concurrent list, not in state list or union list.
Sir.
ಹೇಳಿಪ್ಪ
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಏನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ವಿಚ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ is which list ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Which list?
ನೀರಾವರಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇದೆ.
State list ಬರುತ್ತೆ. What about interwater states, interwater rivers,
ಅದು
interstate water? Concurrent state union list. Check it once. Check ಮಾಡಿ. Okay. Water comes in which list? Okay. So this is the importance of water. But in this article, they are discussing about the water management in India. So specifically in terms of what? Because 2025 has been declared as the international year for glaciers. This year there was a question on this. Release ಬರ್ದರು ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. I had told also in discussion ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ. So this year, 2025 has been declared as the international year for glaciers. So work on this one. This is your work. Okay. Go to your website. Okay. In that, they will have a, okay, they will declare a year. Okay. They will declare year as some promise. There is some importance for that years. For example, 2023 gap idea. What is 2023 year? International year for millets. 2024 camellets. 2025 is glaciers. One is also there. Quantum computing. Cooperatives ಕೂಡ ಇದೆಯಾ? Cooperatives also is there. So atara check ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Go to your websites and just check it there. So for every year they declare, okay, so that year has some prominence ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. So declare it as this year is they have declared as the international year for glaciers. Why they declare like that? Because in order to promote the significance of this. Importance of glaciers. Any importance of glaciers? Any people? Importance of glaciers.
Rivers.
Okay, a river source. That means they are called as a water tower. They are called as the water towers. The glaciers are called as the water towers. Okay, especially for India again, Himalayan rivers. Okay, Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, Kartalva. So they are like a water rivers. Okay, they are a water towers. They are a source of water. But anything else about glaciers? Sea level rising. Why? Because of climate change. Because of global warming. Because of rising sea level. Because of the melting of glaciers is happening. Is leading to rising of sea level. What else?
So minerals are not in them.
Okay. What else? Animals? Okay, avಕ್ಕೆ effect ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. One more is also important thing is there. Tropicalization. Oh, okay. Okay. Anything else regarding glaciers? What problems may come out because of melting of glaciers? Okay, ma'am. What is the problem?
Greenhouse effect.
It may increase the greenhouse effect also. How? Again. Albedo ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, good. ಮತ್ತೆ anything else about diseases? See, glaciers, they have a deposition of old sediments or old remains. Okay, na? The ancient remains. Many viruses or bacteria, they are still living in glaciers. They are in a dormant stage. So they can come back to life. ಯಾವ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ರೊಕ್ಕ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. COVID ಗೆ ಓದಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Tomorrow or father will come. So the glaciers, there are a deposition of virus and bacteria also there. Okay, now old fossil remains. So when they melt, when they start melting, they may become from dormant to become active also. So they may lead to new diseases also will come. Okay, because of glaciers. Other thing is it may lead to emission of carbon dioxide also because they are storing carbon dioxide in glaciers. So again, it will increase the carbon dioxide. Again, it will increase the global warming also. So these are the importance of glaciers. One is water source, water tower, because in Himalayas also there are important major rivers which come from the Himalayan rivers. Other than that is these are the major things. Again, it may need to increase disease. Other thing is it may increase the carbon dioxide volume also. It may lead to again global warming. Okay, idu kuda ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬಹುದು. So these are the importance of glaciers. Okay, ಮತ್ತೆ what are the issues of water management in India? Any issues in India? What are the issues?
of water management in India? What do you know?
Interested water disputes. Okay, ಮತ್ತೆ
Storage.
storage issues. Okay, the lack of dams, too many dams ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. Anything else? Water intake. Okay, good. Agriculture requires more water. Okay, then what are the issues of water management in India? Yamuna River, Yamuna River, Ganga River, pollution. Major issue is pollution. Pollution. Ganga Sana Tunga Pamansara. ಈಗ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Anything else ಮತ್ತೆ? Any other issues? Water management in India ದಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, so see, observe ಮಾಡಿಪ್ಪ. Okay, anything else ಮತ್ತೆ? ಈ ಕಡೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? What are the issues of water management in India? ಏನ್ issues ಆಗ್ತದೆ ವಾಟರ್ದು? ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. What is the population of India? 1.4 billion. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ವಾಟರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. So demand is very high. Correct. So what is happening is it will leading to water stress also, na? So not everyone can access water. It is leading to water stress. Ad bitti ಮತ್ತೆ anything else? Other is pollution. Sewage. Okay, good. ಮತ್ತೆ Okay, good. One is disputes. Okay, good. This is a very good point. See, there's one quote there. Okay, I don't remember the exact quote. What they say is in 21st century, okay, we fought many wars beyond. Okay, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಂದೆ wars ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, but right now, if there is any war, it will be because of water itself. Okay, in 21st century, if we face any wars, this will be because of water itself. Because only China is building more dams. I know that China, it is building more dams. Okay, it is the number of one in building dams. Why? Because it knows in future only, it knows that the water is the only source of conflict. It is the major source of conflict, and water requirements ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಹೋದಾಗ. That is why China is building more dams. That is why water is very important. So it is a source of conflict. Very good point. So in 21st century, the water conflict become the major conflicts in the world, especially in Africa. It become very huge crisis. Okay, what is ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ? Because of climate change, what's happening? Because of climate change, water ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ಡ್ರೈ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ because of drying of climates, because of drying of lakes. ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ examples? Any examples for drying of lakes because of climate change? Okay. In the lakes, Kariba, okay. Dal Lake, okay. But dry ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ Dal Lake. Pollution ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Drying of lakes. Any lakes which you come across in Africa or in Central Asia? Aral Sea, example ಬೇಕಂತ. Aral Sea is also shrinking. Caspian Sea is also shrinking because of climate change. What else? ಮತ್ತೇನಿದೆ? What are the issues of madam? Okay, freshwater is going for sea. Can we stop it? Stop ಮಾಡೋಣ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Rivers is going ತಾನೆ. Rivers are freshwater ತಾನೆ. They can become a source of water, but they are going to the sea. Is it a waste of water? Waste of water. Sure. ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ? What do you think? ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? So rivers are going for this, sea ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. So is it a waste of water? ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, if you use more, what happens to marine ecosystem? What about the ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಕೋಸ್ಟಲ್ ರಿವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕೋಸ್ಟಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಕೋಸ್ಟಲ್ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗ್ರೋವ್ಸ್ marine ecosystem ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. So one thing will be affected of that one. That is what they are saying. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಂಕ್ರೋಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, see these are the major issues of water management in India. This is what that article is discussing about. How do you have to conserve water? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ? What is your suggestions? Okay, one is rainwater harvesting. Other thing is building of more dams. ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಪರ್ಕೊಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, there is one program called as million wells recharge program. See, usually you don't get these kind of things. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. million wells recharge program. Okay, one initiative is there. ಅದರ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. This is one of the important initiative. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. million wells recharge program. ಮತ್ತೆ what else? we can do
Development of lakes.
development of lakes. Okay, then district level, ಮತ್ತೆ
State level, river linkage.
okay, national level we can go for river linkage project. ಅದು major issue discuss ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದಾಗ. ಮತ್ತೆ anything else? Okay, so we have to shift from the water intensive agriculture to other examples ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ millets ಅಲ್ಲ, we have to promote millets. See, observe ಮಾಡಿ, that is why we are promoting millets. Okay, now why we are promoting millets? One is they are source of protein. At the same time, other point is they having a less growing season. Okay, now less growing season. Other point is they have water. They require less water. They require less water. That is why we are promoting millets. These are small points, but observe ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ತುಂಬಾ important ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Millets. Okay, we have to promote the millets in the water intensive agriculture sectors. Okay, admit anything else? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೆಯಾ? Community level we have to create awareness.
GM crops for less water.
GM crops in the less water use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಹುದು. Maybe technology. If we get, okay, we can do this. So sea water ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲವಲ್ಲ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, see, observe ಮಾಡಿ, see in this ಅಲ್ಲ, this okay, in this article we have discussed more points than this article. Okay, na, but one point gap ತಗೊಂಡಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, there is one point which have to work on this one. Keep on gap ಕೊಡಿ. From source to seas, from source to sea we have to conserve water. That means from wherever the water originates, whenever the water originates, from water origination to it is going to seas alone. From this point to this point we have to conserve it properly. That is the meaning of this. This is the approach we have to use for water management in India. From source to sea approach, which you have to include in our water management system in India. This is the only point which you can correct from the article. Other articles the point ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ, but that is what we discuss right now. So source to sea ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, okay. So what is the source of Ganga river? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Glacier. What is source of ಯಾವ source? ಅನ್ಕೋಣ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಅನ್ಕೋಣಪ್ಪ. Himalaya river or Himalayas. Himalayas is the source of Ganga, river Ganga. Okay, na? This is the source. Like, how do we conserve Himalayas? So this is the approach what you have to follow in the article. You have to follow the source to sea approach. Okay, source to sea approach. What is the source? Himalayas are the source. How do we conserve Himalayas? They are correct, alva. One we have to use, we have to reduce the global warming. Other point is Himalayan states. Correct, alva. In Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, we cannot build more industries there because it will lead more pollution. It will increase more, glacier melting also. So what you have to do is we have to go for the eco-friendly activities. You have to go for eco-friendly activities, especially in the Himalayan region. So eco-friendly regions, eco-friendly activities in Himalayan region. So it will preserve the Himalayas. Again, the origin, okay, river origin agirappa ಈಗ. This is the source. Agar river originate ಆಗಿದೆ, again it goes to Bay of Bengal over. Bay of Bengal. And how do we conserve it of the river Ganga? And conserve ಮಾಡೋಣ on the way. How do we conserve Ganga? From source in the ಆಯ್ತು, source in the ಆಗಿದೆ ಈಗ. Source we conserved it. We are making eco-friendly activities in the Himalayan states. That is what it is conserved in the Himalayas. Conserve ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. So ಇವಾಗ river ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. So how do we conserve Ganga?
Pollution.
One is we can reduce the pollution, alva. We can industrial discharge. Okay, we can go for what? Recycling. Correct? We can go for recycling of water. But what else? Domestic waste also. We can treat the domestic waste. Then we can release it to the release ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಮತ್ತೆ anything else? Dams build ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಮತ್ತೆ what else?
Power.
Yeah. Okay, power in dams. How do we conserve water there? How do we conserve Ganga river? Okay, so whatever the activities we make along the Ganga, example ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, agriculture activities, we'll go for eco-friendly fertilizers. So instead of using chemical fertilizers, what I can do is I can go for organic fertilizers. Correct? Because chemical in the it can go runoff agi, it can lead to pollution in the river. So what I can go for? I can go for the organic fertilizers along the belt of Ganga. These are the points. This is how you have to conserve Ganga. That is the meaning of from source to sea approach. From source in the we have to conserve the rivers till the sea. Okay, this is the approach what we have to follow with the water management in India. Am I clear? So obviously it takes more time to understand, but points you have to. Okay, I'll try to repeat it. Okay. So right now, 2023 has been declared as the international year for glaciers. Imports of glacier gap, they are a source of fresh water. Okay, na? They are a source of fresh water. So because of climate change and global warming, the glaciers are melting. Okay, it is leading to flooding also in India Bandaga, because melting of glaciers is increasing water levels in Ganga and Brahmaputra also. So it may lead to flooding also. So one major point is because of global warming, the glaciers are melting. It is leading to rising of sea levels. These are the points you have to. Other points in it may lead to upcoming of new diseases agbodu, ಅಥವಾ it may lead to increase in carbon dioxide, because the glaciers they store the carbon fossils. It may lead to new diseases also. It may lead to increase in carbon dioxide also. This is the other point. Well, other point is from source to sea approach. For water management, we have to apply this logic in India to conserve water. So what are the pollution? What are the problems in there? One is pollution, but the other thing is agriculture requires more water. Then domestic pollution ಕೂಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. These are the major issues. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ what are the conservation methods? What you have to do is we have to conserve rainwater harvesting ಆಗಲಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ what else? Water harvesting ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ dams ಆಗಲಿ. We can build organic farming ಆಗಲಿ. That is what we can do. Okay, this is what that article talks about. Okay, so then is food safety. I'll come to this. What called G7? Okay, group G7 countries. Anybody?
India, so world's richest countries.
Okay, countries names.
Canada,
Mhm.
United States, United Kingdom, France,
Iran,
Japan,
Japan. Then
Russia ಇತ್ತು
Russia,
Germany, France. Okay. Then one more country is there. Britain. ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ.
Iran,
China ಬರ್ತಾರಮ್ಮ G7 ಗೆ. Iran. Obviously, how can you guess Iran? US doesn't like Iran. How will they come as G7 countries? Italy is also there. Work on G7 countries. Okay. Then China Bridge is also very important. Work on China Bridge. Okay. G7 countries and China. If someone know about economic, what is the meaning of LTV? Loan to value ratio. LTV. Loan to value ratio. What happens? RBI raises small gold loan LTV to ratio by 10%. What may happen with money supply? Economy at least. ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಗೆಸ್. What is loan to value ratio? See, loan to value ratio ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ. ಸೊ 1 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಈಗ ರೇಟ್ 1 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ 10,000 ಇದೆ 1 ಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಶೋರ್ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. 10,000 ಆಯ್ತಾ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದೇ ಕತೆ. 1 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ is equal to 10,000 rupees ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಲೋನ್, ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೋನ್ ಟು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಲೋನ್ ಟು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ರೇಷಿಯೋ. ಸೊ 1 gram of gold is 10K. Value of gold is 10K ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು. So what is the loan I am getting? ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, I am keeping 1 gram as collateral. I am getting a loan. Okay, what is the loan amount I can get on 1 gram of gold? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I can get more loan ಈಗ. Earlier I used to get 8 rupees per. Earlier I used to get 8,000 rupees for 1 gram of gold. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 gram usually ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 10K ಇದೆ. ನನಗೆ 8K ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಲೋನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಬಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ 9,000 rupees ರೈಟ್ ನೌ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ 9,000 rupees ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ 10K gold. 10K gold ಗೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ 9,000 rupees ಲೋನ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ LTV. Loan to value ratio. What is the loan I am getting for the value? Actual value ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ 10K ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಲೋನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನನಗೆ? ಲೋನ್ 9K ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನನಗೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ RBI. ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮನಿ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ? ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು ಮನಿ ಸಪ್ಲೈ? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ಮನಿ. People will get more money for their gold. So again, it will increase the money supply. Again, they'll spend more. Again, it will increase the growth. You observe RBI is focusing on increasing growth. That is why they are focusing on increasing money supply. Observe LTV ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ. So earlier we saw that they are reducing CRR. Reducing CRR because they want to increase the lending activity of banks. Again, it will include growth also. It will induce growth. That is what the focus of RBI monetary policy right now. So they want to induce the growth in the economy. So that is why they are always focusing on increasing money supply in the market right now in economy. So this one gap equal. Okay. Loan to value ratio. What are it is? Is it a quantitative or qualitative? Qualitative tools. Cap by the RBI. Quantitative. Qualitative. What are two it is? Quantitative, qualitative. Quantitative, sure. Work ಮಾಡಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ. ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿನ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಫೀಸ್. ಅದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು. ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್. Okay. So how many of you agree this RCB is equal to Karnataka? If I am supporting CSK or if I am supporting any other franchise, I might betray my state. One of the major discussion in our Instagram social media platforms. If someone support other teams, they'll criticize like anything. You are staying here, you are drinking water here, you are getting jobs here, and you are so what do you think about this? Can we equate RCB to
RCB only because they represent Karnataka, people support them. Only because Kohli is there in RCB, some people support RCB.
Does RCB really represent Karnataka?
So in sports.
In sports itself.
BCCI IPL ನ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಹೋಲ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Okay.
People mistake ಇದೆ.
Okay.
Vijay Malyana ಅದನ್ನೇ.
How is it linked to Karnataka? RCB.
So it's a
Franchise from Karnataka. Anywhere linked to Karnataka government or anywhere linked to us?
No.
Apart from the emotions. Like, is it fine if I support CSK also? I'm not supporting them. I'm just saying because I'm just saying I'm not a supporter of any team. I want a good team to win us. See, at the end of the gap, this sports, what is the importance of sports? This sports about participation. In the spirit of participation, they have to participate. Someone will win, someone will win. This is the spirit of the game. So, but if you start equating to the nationalism, if you start equating to the country, if you start equating to the state, it becomes a big problem for us. But it is happening. So, what do you think? Does RCB have any input to government? Government again? Then why government has to take the credit for RCB winning the game? Why do they have to?
Bengaluru and
See, just because there is a Bangalore and does it mean the government is linked to that? One is vote bank politics. See, everything is interlinked. See, observe Madi, it is a private franchise. Okay, na? There is nothing else which is linked to Karnataka other than its name, Bangalore. Okay, na? That brand was taken, that franchise was taken to promote his brand. Okay, that too, it is not a good brand also, but they are promoting something else. You know what he is promoting. So, but that being equated to Karnataka, then that is what a lot of people doesn't think. People, so when you support to other teams, you're like, what is the problem? What is the problem? If I like something else, I can support it. What is the problem? What is the issue? So why the government has to take the credit for some franchise, some private franchise winning the game? Because of vote bank politics itself. If they had not done this one, the life would have been saved. Life save ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು 11 people. See, problem with India, what we learn of India, first, some people has to die. You observe ಮಾಡಿರಲಿ, the government doesn't take any actions, initiative. We don't think. Government doesn't think. They'll always go for the flow. They'll go in flow. But when something happens, alva, then they'll become more cautious. That too for 1 year. You observe ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ they're suspending the police officers. They're giving more money, and they're blaming everyone other than themselves. Then what is the point in celebrating in the in Vidhasauda? What is the need? ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ? Okay, see, these are the small things. Gap ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. And how do you protect ourselves in the stampede ತರ ಇದ್ದಾಗ? So how do you protect ourselves? Have you seen any videos about this one? ಹೆಂಗೆ? How to protect yourself? Okay, apart from this, ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಪ್ಪ tomorrow ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾರೋ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಂಪೇಜ್ಗೆ RCB ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? Very good. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೇವ್ ಆಗಿ ಸರ್. You could say you. Okay, ಮತ್ತೆ like how do you protect ourselves during each of situations?
Civic sense effects.
Okay.
Be cautious.
Okay, agreed, appa. Do you have any skills? Do you know anything to protect yourself? Huh? See why I'm saying Allah, because these are the small things which will save your lives, okay na? We do not learn about these kind of things, life saving skills, but we study about integration, integration, differentiation, and reflection, but it won't save us lives. Half an hour I'll carry it. ಆಗದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಮುಂದೆಗಿದೆ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಚೇರ್ ಮುಂದೆಗಿದೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಮಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಎನಿವನ್ ನೋ ಎನಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಹೌ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ನೋ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್? ಲೈಕ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ವೇ? ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ರೌಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ? ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಿ ವೈ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಡಿಗ್ರಿಲಿ ವಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್, ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್, ಅದು ಇದು, ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್, ಸ್ಕಾಪ್, ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸೇವ್ ಅವರ್ ಲೈಫ್? ಈ ತರ ಬಂದಾಗ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಕೋಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್. ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಈ ತರ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ನೀವು ಬಂದ, ಸಿ ವೈ ಆಮ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸ್ಟಾಂಪೇಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ಅವರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಎವ್ರಿ ವೀಕ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ 2 hours they should teach about these kind of things. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫೈರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಫೈರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೌ ಡು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಆ ತರ ಒಂದು ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ, ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ಹುಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. That's what I'm suggesting. So what we have to do is we have to include this life saving skills in our school curriculum, improve ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So at least for every week, at least for 1 hour to 2 hours, we have to teach our children like how do we do it. So do you know, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ like how to protect yourself ಅಂತ include ಅಲ್ಲಿ, like how do you stand actually? Because usually ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, again it will happen in future. Like how do you stand? ಹೇಳಿಮಾ, at least how do you protect yourself? ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದೆಯಾ? So
ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು.
Safe is okay. You are standing in a crowd. What is the position you have to hold? So you have to hold like a boxer. This is what I saw a video, because after watching that video, because I got scared also, I saw some video. So how to protect yourself? But that's why this is what I thought. Okay, you have to hold in a boxer position like this. At the same time, your legs should be ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ apart ಇರಬೇಕು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. Like runner ತರ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, running ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ, at least one leg ahead, one leg behind ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. So it will give a balance ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. Instead of like keeping them closed, it will make you imbalance. So like hold it like this, ಈ ತರ. ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಂತಲ್ಲ, but these are skills ಅಪ್ಪ. These are very very important skills which can save your life. So if they knew about these skills ಅಲ್ವಾ, maybe one life not saved ಅಲ್ವಾ, life we won't get back. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So small things, but it will save your life in future. We never know what happens in future ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, that is what one suggestions. So if we get time, ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ತಾಗ ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್. ವಿ ನೆವರ್ ನೋ. ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಈಗ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವಯನಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ನ್ಯೂ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ದೇ ಕೂಡ ಸೇವ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ತಾನೆ. ದೇ ಕೂಡ ಸೇವ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ 11 people ಡೇ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಡೆತ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ನ್ಯೂ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಸೇವ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಆ ತರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಲೈಕ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಲರ್ನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಶೂರ್ ದಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಇನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ದೆಮ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಓಕೆ, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್? ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಇದೆಯಾ? ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ ಮಾ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರು